lengwe na kukhangwe lengwe ya be gorogile tholokgolo ya makgobola ka metsi moragogolo wa mahatametse wa goroga wa tsena nna ke ra matheolela thuto go batho ka kgothalo ke sa titi mmina tola mathaita ya mathuba thebe e thula methuba thata ba kgotolo mmina tola ya motuteng e thuba na tekenya thala jaaka dipatsa dithala methago ta ba thuto ka tapama ha dithuto ke thile ka ke thata ba khata ga phabautse ja le tsaya le ha tsokana o tshoketsebe a itsitsebe ya ritinting go sa utli e tsogoine le tsemahoko makhadi ja kharita kodu a methorisa ditšhaba nteng jaaka tigolo di ka motho ke o le utli a sheleketisa kwena mme ke motho o senang mainamiso a gaope ke iteile thamaga ke le kwa sweding sa mokalana ya re ke le ba mathogotogang le ba kwa shalenga le ba pitsingane thabaga ke e gana go wela hatsi thabana e ganne go a mo setlhabing thabana e ganne go wela gae kutlontsenne tsa motse thabana nthaere tama o tlo o boke motho ga o boke motho hela o boka motho a thulisi a nonyane motho a matsoga pele ba tsoga morago ga ba e bone lo mmone gate o nyile talane a maebana mako maloba a ba jabanyela ba ba maketsile a ba jabanyela ba ba kwena a ba jela hela mo patelong ke ra ba jela le ruo a ba jela le dihutsana na ba ba tholo ya rasana go ba jelo a re ke mo jela gore lubitsang tshontsho ya matsope-tsopana ka tsame dikgolo ba re he motho yo keno a masela seboko sa moso ya ra se setsa tlhatogele ko godimo ba re he keno a go itamolola a bodigedi ka ya ra iteile dilo a be a emisa kgotla e eme a ba a diegise dikgotla go tsamaya nke sa ntlheng ke golo di ke motho nke sa ntlheng ke golo di ke nonyane Kagiso o nonyane a thubisi ba re kiele motho ga dinoka e jwa metsi dithaporing ga letsatsi le wela ya tumela ya anwa ka go gabaletsa ra ita nyini ra ita kopo ra ita sematlho a kwa teng monna a rapopo ba re mathupana we tlogela thupa tswa mothupeng bana ga ba lele a itsetsa re ore wa boitaba na marago a ba shwatoga ke bua ka motho a thubisi nonyane a thubisi monna o nonyane thubisi ka nonyane ba re nonyane lese le tau ya lala le tau phatšaneng tau ya ba ya tsala ya losa basadi ba ema ba rola dituku ba di latlhela hatshe ga thentwa ga se dintsi ga itsebe ga ya banna ke ne ke tla o thusa yone ke ne ke tla lo elwa ntwa ga basadi elowa go rotse dituku ba re mokgatlhisa polena e ba a ba a kua Paulo Mabase mešašareng ba re kene ke namane hela ya thubisi e tla bua le lona e tla logoga ba re ke lona e kere ga e kara le bokoa a le molato le botsejakantse motho ke monompi yo ke monompi motho wa kua phatlhwana a ba nompi ga ke rile a re go atulela a na ba semane segotongkong a re ka sejala jaaka le batla nna ke pilara ke eme ko boraganyera e tla re ga di mapodi matoga ke tla sala keme a re banyana le nyena ke lontsi jana ga ya re le jwa le bolontsololela tlogela go tlhola lo lela ke lobeile mo bokoteng ke lobelegi ke namana a thubisi ke mothompi a re ke nna sone selala sele sa mawiwi a ga nompi se ikagare se bidiwa se be se ita seo kobela noka se be se ita seo kobela diphathana ga o bokiwa ke motho hela o bokiwa ke la matheolela thuto go batho ka kgothawa sa thuto o bokiwa ke mmina tholo o bokiwa ke molehe o bokiwa ke motlhapi monampi batho ba gago ke bao bua le bone ka lerato bua le bone ka tlhompho bua le bone ke a itse o itse go bua na o kgwatišitse maloba ko sekweleng ga o no tsenya sekwele ka ngwaga tse di hitile ke a leboga
thuse go tloga ko Soweto mongwe wa baithuti ba ka mo dingwageng tse 30 tse di fetileng ke le teacher wa Setswana jaanong le bona se ke se tlogetseng ko teachereng. Madam Speaker, the Honorable Desbo Mohono, Deputy Speaker Honorable Desbo Mohono, the Chief Whip of the Majority Party, Honorable Motlalipula Osho, Chair of Chairs, Honorable Desbo Mohono, Honorable Members of the Executive Council, Honorable Members of the Provincial Legislature, Honorable Members of Parliament present here today, our permanent delegates to the National Council of Province, the Judge President of the North West Division of the High Court, Judge Ronald Hendricks, Chairperson of Salga, Councillor Kumalo Molefe, Chairperson of the House of Traditional and Kwaisan Leaders, Kosi Tari Mautwe, Executive Mayors and Mayors of the Northwest municipalities, the Treasurer General of the governing party, Dr. Gwen Ramokopa, together with the Provincial Secretary of the governing party, Reluidi Remelo, and in absentia, the former chairperson, the former acting premier, the chairperson of the governing party, Reno Nomaloi, leaders of political parties, former premiers of the Northwest, leaders of faith-based organizations, trade unions, and civil society, the Vice Chancellor of the Northwest University, Professor Bismarck Tobeka, the Provincial Commissioner of the South African Police Service, Lieutenant General Cyril Okwena, accompanied by heads of our security services, members of the diplomatic corps, and in particular, in this instance, Ambassador Ms. Lucas from Mozambique, Consul General Ms. Santos from Angola, Vice Consular General Mr. Benuela, Consul General Mr. Tamele from Mozambique, Mr. Humphrey, Deputy Head of Mission from Namibia, Consular General Mr. Tamai from Lesotho, Mr. Champut from Mozambique, and our veteran, former Ambassador Ntate Terimachila. Bagaitso Dumelang. Bagaitso Dumelang. In 2024, February, the then acting Premier Reno Dumile Patrick Malloy presented what is called the State of the Province this year in February. Some of the issues or policy pronouncements he made, we are expected as the current incumbent to execute those policy pronouncements. We will give a full account by next year, 2025 February, on the implementation of the State of the Province. This year we went for general elections and the people have spoken. We are here today given a mandate by the Northwest people or residents that we must lead, and as we lead, we must provide services to our people. And indeed, I'm privileged and honored to be standing before you today to mark the official opening of the 7th administration of the Provincial Legislature of the Northwest. Now, there is that distinction. I'm not presenting a state of the province. I'm presenting the official opening of the legislature of the 7th administration. As we open the North West Provincial Legislature, the following the recent national elections, we are filled with renewed purpose and profound sense of responsibility centered on the service to humanity, as espoused by the founding father of our nation, Nelson Mandela. Joanna Achebe, a revered author, academic, and one of the founding fathers of African literature, opines at the speech delivered in 1998 in Paris that, and I quote, "Our humanity is contingent on the humanity of our fellows," unquote, or close quote. Moto ke moto ka batho. Umuntu ka bantu. Cheers. But today we come together at a crucial moment in the history of our province, prepared to begin a transformative path of rebuilding and rejuvenation. That's why we are gathered today here. We are in a transformative path to rebuild and rejuvenate. As we enter this new chapter, we find inspiration in the unwavering spirit and visionary leadership of our ancestors, Kgosi Muntsiwa and Kgosi Ramotsere Moiloa, and many others who fought relentlessly for justice and equality. The legacy they left behind motivate us to strive for a brighter future. We honor the unsung heroes and heroines of our province whose contribution have shaped our identity and paved the way for progress. We pay special tribute to the likes of Gertrude Mpekwa, a trailblazing activist who mobilized the women of Dinokana in resisting the apartheid government's introduction of passes for women. Ngaka Mudiri Molema, a visionary leader, an advocate for our people's rights. Dr. Ruth Sukhumuzi Mmabatho, a tireless activist and a champion of social justice. Vita Tebe Sephora, a stalwart of the struggle. J.B. Marx, a pioneer in labor rights. Moses Kotar, a leader of profound wisdom. Mama Rita Alice Ntanga, an advocate for women's rights. Onkopotse Tiro, a fearless student leader, and the Hopani Four, whose sacrifices remain etched in our collective memory. Their achievements, Madam Speaker, continue to inspire us. We do not take for granted the immense trust placed on us, and we pledge to work tirelessly to create a province where no citizen is left behind. The representation today of different political organizations and ideologies in this legislature offers us yet another opportunity to live to the ideals of our forebears, who through the adoption of the Freedom Charter in Cape Town in 1955 proclaimed that, and I quote, "We, the people of South Africa, declare for all our country and the world to know that South Africa belongs to all who live in it, black and white, and that no government can justly claim authority unless it is based on the will of all the people," close quote. The makeup of this legislature is based on the will of the people, who expect us to be above the following. As members of the legislature, we must be above reproach, ethical leadership, incorruptible leadership. We must be an accountable leadership. We must be a responsive leadership. But today we are honored to be joined by Dr. Masego Izimatila, who was recently conferred with an honorary doctorate in humanities by the North West University for his promotion of Setswana. Braizi, as affectionately known, was instrumental in making sure we archive our nation-building project through equitable representation of African languages on the SABC platforms. Dr. Matila, humility and modesty is a shining example and embodiment of who we are as a people. He inspires us all to be like him and to be him. Gompieno re batho botlhe ebile re bantle botlhe. Ke ka mokgwa na rata go bua ka teng. Re go lebogile gore bore o tlile go nna le rona ntate Izimatila. Bagaetsho, re fitlheletse go le gontsi mo dingwageng di le 30 tse di fetileng go fetola matshelo a batho ka go aga matlo ka bontsi jo bo tsitsibanyang mmele, go tlisa metsi mo bathong ba rona, go tlisa motlakase, go tlisa thuto le tlamelo ya pholo. Mme go santse go le gontsi go re tlhokang go dira go feleletsa tiro eno ya go tlhabolola matshelo a bagaetsho botlhe. Botlhoka tiro le lehuma bo sa le go godimo mo nageng ya rona ya Aforika Borwa, bogolo jang mo profeseng ya rona ya Bokone Bophirima, ebile dipalopalo tsa teng di ntse di a tlhatloga. Batho ba feta seripa gare sa baagi ba Bokone Bophirima ga ba dire jaaka go kailwe ke dipalopalo tsa kotara ya bone ya dipatlisiso tsa botlhoka tiro mo ngwageng ono. Jaanong ripoto e re tsaya mo Labour Bulletin e re buang ka yone ke yone re bontshang gore seripa gare sa baagi ba North West ga ba dire. Jaanong se ama thata bašwa le basadi go gaisa batho botlhe. Ditlamo di le dintsi di tshosetsa go kgaola badiri jaaka ditlhwatlhwa tsa dikabo tsa dintshokuno di wela ko tlase. Madam Speaker, it's important to say the following. In the last few months, the prices of palladium and platinum fell by 40% and 15% last year, respectively, mainly due to weak demand. The extreme weather conditions such as fell fires and heavy rains have in the past few years affected industries such as tourism and agriculture, thereby delaying the recovery process. And therefore the economic recovery suffered a lot. And when the economy is not growing, it has an impact on unemployment, it has an impact on poverty, and so forth. Now, honorable members, we have appointed the Economic and Investment Advisory Council in the province. This council consists of members of the Executive Council. It consists of economists. It consists of industry experts. It consists of organized labor, organized agricultural sector. It consists of the tourism sector. It consists of the mining and independent experts. So this is called an Economic and Investment Advisory Council to the Executive Authority. The first meeting of the Premier's Economic and Investment Advisory Council will be convened in the second week of August, and it will be followed by the Premier's Infrastructure Coordinating Council, which will drive the mega city program for the province in the Northwest. And the Northwest Housing Corporation is our entity, which we are looking forward that they should be the one responsible to drive the mega city project. This is a huge potential for job opportunities in the Northwest, because through this we are going to create the Northwest to be a construction site. The work of the Economic and Investment Advisory Council will be to guide the provincial government in the implementation of the provincial growth and development strategy. The essence of the council is to guide the provincial government on how should we implement our provincial growth and development strategy. And over and above that, they must be able to develop sector-based plans to drive an inclusive growth. They must reduce unemployment and inequalities in line with the objectives of the National Development Plan. This is the thrust of the council. They should be able, and I want you to underline that, to develop sector-based plans which is going to drive our economy, but it should not just be an economy, it should be an inclusive economy. And that economy, we want to see it reducing unemployment and inequalities. Honorable members, I want to emphasize that the equitable share formula, which is the foundation of our fiscal resource allocation, has served the country well over the last 30 years. We support the institutional foundation of this fiscal arrangement. However, we are of the view that the time has come for it to be reviewed, this allocation. We will use the intergovernmental forums through the President Coordinating Council and the Budget Council to motivate for a review of the current budgetary and fiscal resource allocation. And we believe strongly that this allocation must consider developmental needs especially of rural provinces like the Northwest. We can't allocate money as government on the basis of population. That when you are the biggest, you've got 20 million people, then you get a lot of money, as an only criteria. We believe that the agenda to allocate resources should also be centered around development. Because we as rural provinces will never be developed as long as allocation is based on numbers. I want you to note the following, Honorable Speaker and Honorable Members. Our vision for the Northwest is a place of abundant opportunity, inclusive and vibrant economy, and sustainable growth, supported by strong infrastructure to drive our manufacturing and industrialization. Let me repeat it. Honorable Speaker, our vision for the Northwest is to have a place of abundant opportunities, which has inclusive and vibrant economy, which is going to have a sustainable growth, supported by a strong infrastructure to drive in the main our manufacturing and industrialization. Our province has an abundance of talent of our youthful population, which should inspire innovation and entrepreneurship. Government will have to make resources and tools available to ignite the potential of the people of the province so that we can drive growth and create jobs. Government must ignite, must provide resources and must provide tools so that our province must have an economy that is going to create jobs. Honorable members, the Bojanala Platinum District contributes 52.1% to the Northwest Province Gross Domestic Product, the GDP, with Rustenburg alone accounting to 41.9% of the district GDP. The significant growth in Rustenburg is largely attributed to the impact of the world's largest mines in the immediate vicinity of the American, Stillwater, Bakubung Platinum, Royal Bafokeng Platinum, Tharisa Minerals, Glencore, and many others. Approximately 97% of the total platinum production occurs in Rustenburg, with the mining sector providing around 50% of all formal employment. To harness this potential, however, we must invest in our people. Hence, we are saying we are collaborating with the Northwest University, the Department of Higher Education and Minerals and Petroleum Resources to establish an engineering faculty in Rustenburg to respond to the demand for technical and engineering specialties needed to meet the demand in the mining and related fields. The 7th administration has already started consultation with the Minister of Trade, Industry and Competition to remove all hurdles preventing the Cabinet from approving the issuance of the license for the formal proclamation of the special economic zones in Mohono in particular. We are dealing with all the legalities at this stage that the Northwest should receive a license so that we should formally proclaim that we have a special economic zone in Mohono. Now,
We are at an advanced stage with the minister in discussing this matter because the license has been an issue. As a consequence, we have now appointed full-time CEO for the North West Development Corporation, who will work with the board to appoint the rest of the executive management team. The North West Development Corporation will be restructured to be fit for purpose to drive our economic and industrialization program. So what we are saying is that as a consequence of appointing the CEO, who is expected later to appoint management of the North West Development Corporation, we are saying this entity should be the driver for economic development in the province. This entity, as it stands, we are not convinced that it's rightly positioned. Therefore, it must be restructured. It must have the right people with the necessary skills, must have the right people with the necessary qualification and experience, people who will be able to know when we say economic drive, what do we mean? Therefore, Radumalana Hore, North West Development Corporation, Kiwadebo Kamosh. We are continuing with our work in the special economic zone to renovate the existing structures, and the construction of phase 2 of this project is also coming. The main hub of the Platinum Valley of the SEZ will be housed in a 100-hectare site at the Budirelo Industrial Park located near the town of Mohono. Now the hub of the Platinum Valley of this economic zone will be housed at Budirelo Industrial Park in Mohono. The site will be developed in 3 phases, comprising of 1 logistics park, light manufacturing space, and heavy industries and manufacturing space. That will be the 3 phases that we'll have in our Mohono Special Economic Zone. Madam Speaker, we have so far gathered investment commitment to the tune of 164 billion for the Special Economic Zone. Now, 11 of these are at an advanced stage, where 3 have already signed what is called a pre-leasing agreement of the commitments we have to the economic zone for investment. These commitments are a culmination of the investment initiatives which were started by the 6th administration to create over 5,000 job opportunities for our people. Honorable members, our province, the Northwest, is a home to Pelindaba, South Africa main nuclear research center. And with the new electricity and energy minister's vision for a 2,500 megawatts nuclear plant, we have the potential to become an investment destination of powerhouse in the energy generation sector. Nuclear energy has a catalytic potential across sectors like nuclear medicine, energy, and human resource development to develop new rare skills and specialization which are in high demand. We must occupy the space. We will not be spectators in this event. Honorable Speaker, All these priorities require coherent policy direction. They require coordination from government to guide with appropriate and proper interventions and direct sector contributions towards a common goal. These things will not happen over a magician or a magic. You need men and women who will be up to the task. You need men and women who understand that there is a need to have a proper coordination, a coherent policy direction, and the necessary interventions for it to happen. Honorable Speaker and members, the President or Presidency has delegated what is called the Lanseria Smart City Development to the Gauteng Provincial Government as an implementing agent. We have started discussions with our colleagues in Gauteng to have joint meetings to finalize the memorandum of understanding between the two provinces for the implementation of the smart city development. I want us to note that the North West Housing Corporation will be assigned to incorporate this specific smart city development in the existing mega cities program in the province so that we should achieve synergy and integration. So we will have to integrate because in the province we've got our own mega cities program. But this special one by the President, that when you come from Johannesburg, Pretoria, Lanseria into Madibe area, we are going to develop a smart city. Now, we are not going to be spectators because we are going to be involved. And already at this stage, I said we are in discussions with Gauteng. And therefore, we believe that this is another potential for massive job creation for our people. Honorable members, the Mega and Smart City program will unlock investment in the following key focus areas: housing, infrastructure, transport and logistics, education, leisure and tourism, healthcare, and so forth. These are focus areas which this Mega Smart City program will unlock, including the Lanseria one. Furthermore, Madam Speaker, 3 mega infrastructure projects in the region of 19 billion rand will be rolled out in the financial year in this province. And we believe with these infrastructure projects, we are going to unlock job creation. And it is because we are determined to have Northwest as a construction site. So we will be committing 19 billion rand to roll out this program. But this will also include the 29 water and sanitation projects. We all know that water is a scarce commodity. Northwest relies in the main on the underground water. We also know that with global warming, weather changes, water becomes a challenge. Now we are saying we have submitted 29 water and sanitation projects, 7 roads infrastructure projects, and the Matosani Smart City bulk water infrastructure. These projects have been submitted to Infrastructure South Africa. They are located in the presidency, and all of them have passed the stage of the budget facility for infrastructure, BFI, for evaluation process. So the process to approve these projects from ISA is at an advanced stage to tackle issues of water and sanitation and the road infrastructure. Madam Speaker, these projects are going to create 60,000 job opportunities in the province, and we're going to target in the main young people and women with this project. As part of building an ethical, capable and developmental state, we will be looking at possibilities of government services for possible insourcing. Our view is very clear as government, that we build the capacity of the state not to rely entirely on outsourcing. We must build capacity of the state so that certain services must be rendered by the state itself. And therefore, where we are sitting, we must begin a process of categorization, identification of services which we can begin to insource as government. And that will be monitored by the Office of the Premier, by the way. And this will include the refurbishment of abandoned government buildings for occupation by our NGOs and NPOs, for occupation through affordable lease agreement. We don't want to see anymore any government building abandoned, vandalized, and not being utilized when our people can utilize them. Public works must come very clear in terms of asset management register. For where are these buildings? What is the plan with them? If they don't have a plan, they must give us to our communities to utilize it. The Northwest government will extend its support to community media to ensure diversity and plurality of information dissemination on government programs. We are going deliberately to ensure that government, municipalities, state-owned entities, they utilize community media to ensure that there is diversity and plurality, especially to convey message to our communities. And that will be done by government. Honorable Speaker, our state-owned enterprises, as I said, are critical in ensuring economic growth to meet the developmental objectives of our province. All of them, by the way, Parks Board, Gambling Board, North West Development Corporation, including their subsidiaries, they cannot continue to be a burden to the state. That's number one. Where people go to work and do nothing and expect salaries at the end of the month. Two, they go to work, there is no economic viability of the entity. There is no sustainability on the entity. There is no clear project plan on the entity. The entity does not play any active role or meaningful role in the economy. And therefore we are saying all what they know is to come to the state and ask for a bailout. What I'm saying is that all of them, we are repositioning them, we are restructuring them, and all of them with no exception, they must start to play a role and sustain themselves. And therefore, in executing their mandate, it is imperative that they must be remodeled and they must be repositioned to drive, in particular, our industrialization agenda. Now we are saying this will be done through direct investment, private-public partnerships, and also possible individual capitalization. Now the program of industrialization will be led by the North West Development Corporation, and we believe that for them to kickstart industrialization, the financial sector in particular, they must capitalize the industrialization program. And as they capitalize it, we will then, as government, be able to put a business case for private sector, in particular the financial sector, to come in. The models is, like I said, public-private partnership, possible individual capitalization, joint ventures, and so forth. And we believe that government must be able to ignite and lead that process. To see to the success of this pronouncement, particularly in rejuvenating our tourism sector, and in particular parks and resorts, we are going to establish what is called developmental fund, because we believe that the funds that government has are not enough. We've got limited resources, and therefore we must look at other means of revenue collection in the province as alternative measures to augment our budget so that we are able to intervene in certain areas of service delivery. But the fund is also intended to finance various initiatives such as the resuscitation of the George Dick Munsiwa and the Pilanesberg Airport. It's important that I must indicate state of our parks and resorts is very disappointing. And we believe that to get them right, to get them being active participants in the tourism sector, government must go and look for partners, and this is going to happen by the 7th administration. Madam Speaker, it will also extend to the fund, the agro-processing and mineral beneficiation industries, as well as innovation hubs in the form of information communications technology. We will also get into this space using the developmental fund. We will get into agro-processing and also get into information communications technology. In relation to the latter, infrastructure is already being assembled through the broadband connectivity across the province. 332 facilities at the Dr. Ruth Rumuti Mumpati has been identified as pilot earmarked to benefit from this project. This infrastructure will be deployed to over 2,900 community Wi-Fi hotspots in Rustenburg, Zeerast, and Koopfontein. Honorable Speaker, we have deliberately also created what is called a dedicated agriculture working group as part of the Economic and Investment Advisory Council, which comprises of the industry and strategic commodity role players. We would like to hold hands with the private sector to review the agriculture master plan to be in line and drive the new growth path in the province. So we will be reviewing our agriculture master plan, but we are going to hold hands with the private sector in the agricultural sector to be in line with our new drive of inclusive economic growth in the province. That should be also a point that we need to note. We are convinced, Madam Speaker, that it is possible to facilitate the commercialization of small black farmers and to open new markets without affecting the profitability of the existing commercial farmers. So it's our responsibility as government that we should get into the space of ensuring that we commercialize our small black farmers without necessarily affecting the already commercialized farmers. We are going to revive and scale up the mega farms programs in all the 4 districts to multiply successes such as the one of KMF Farm Holdings, which is in the Tsobota local municipality, which is operated by Dr. Obake Mfikwe. Our view is that we are going to maximize and upscale mega farms in the 4 districts. The MEC for the relevant department will later come and explain how it's going to work. This also, Madam Speaker, includes the Junkies Burdere, owned by Tepo Junkies from Taung, who provides an array of services that benefit other emerging farmers. Just recently, Madam Speaker, there was a delegation from Omaheke Regional Council in Namibia, which visited Junkies Burdere to come and benchmark as to how did they get it right. So we must not look at ourselves also as people who are always going out to benchmark because we are doing the right things. Other people come to the province and in Taung in particular to come and benchmark. Honorable members, furthermore, later this year, the Premier will lead a delegation of Agri Northwest and Grain South Africa to Taung, specifically to discuss the resuscitation of the Taung irrigation scheme. I have full confidence that these intervention measures will contribute immensely in repositioning the commercialization of the agricultural produce of emerging farmers. That's why that exercise must be done. Honorable members, rural roads are critical to facilitate access to public services like health, schools, and movement of commodities to the markets. We are considering new building technologies for our rural roads as an alternative to alleviate budgetary pressures for the road construction and maintenance program. We will continue to assist municipalities with road resealing project as well as pothole patching. But it's also important, Madam Speaker, that our communities, they must be taught, or we should have an advocacy campaign in our rural communities to explain that essence of a road is trafficability and rideability of a road, not the blacktop. Now, all this new technology, the science processing of a construction of a road is not a blacktop, because our communities, how do we start saying, like, with the new technology to make the road trafficable? They refuse a road and they say, Babata Tat Road. In them, Tat Road means the blacktop. Now I'm saying alternative technology, the science of making a road are the same. What is the difference is that there is no blacktop. And therefore it's important that we are able to explain to our communities that there are other alternative, cheaper methods which will assist aggressively to improve the conditions, especially our rural roads. But we are in the process of rolling out phase 2 of Nelson Mandela Drive, which includes the expansion of the Denville Bridge. This will include major rehabilitation of the road by upgrading it into a dual carriageway all the way up to the Denville Circuit. We have commissioned work to look at initiating the Ramatlababa Freight Corridor through the creation of a northern bypass from Rooigrond through Birmasdrift to the Ramatlababa border gate. This project will unlock the economic potential of Mahikeng and relieve the central business district of traffic congestion in Mahikeng. Honorable Speaker, a stable local government or a stable sphere of government, which is called local government, is to ensure proper service and infrastructure and also to attract investment and contribute to local economic development. I want to repeat that part. A stable local sphere of government is critical to ensure provision of services and infrastructure to attract investment and contribute to local economic development. Now, Masipala House of Konugu Diragilote, Kitangu di Balafa, Hase Masipala. But I want to also emphasize the following. Masipala is a sphere of government, independent, distinct, with their own laws. It's a government on its own. The laws of this country also allows national and provincial government to intervene within the limitations of the law. Now, once we understand that municipalities is a sphere of government, that's why some municipalities, they take even the provincial government to court. Because at times they feel we are overstepping into their territory. But we've got a responsibility as government. When things are not going well, we are going to intervene. And when we intervene, we'll intervene within the means of the law. But many of our municipalities are in a financial distress, unable to collect sufficient revenue to fund their operations and drive development. Very poor revenue collection, and therefore they can't sustain themselves. Regrettably so, in some cases, poor financial management and questionable procurement and tendering process are responsible for the collapse of government system in municipalities. We have directed the provincial treasury to conduct financial assessment on the 2024-2025 draft budgets of municipalities to assess the credibility and the funding of municipalities. The Premier will convene the Northwest Premiers Coordinating Council with all the mayors to present the outcome of that assessment and demand accountability from municipalities to improve their financial management. In addition, the Executive Council has adopted preemptive implementations of Section 1395 and 154 of the Constitution to assist municipalities to meet their financial recovery and support government. As provincial government, we have involved those sections in municipalities which, in our view, have serious challenges in terms of sustainable financial recovery. We have also seconded senior managers to Bujanala, Tswaing, and Itsobotla to assist in terms of institutional capacity. Because also we have realized that there is a challenge in terms of competency level of people employed in municipalities. And therefore, where we are deploying senior managers of government to go and assist those municipalities. The Department of Cooperative Governance Human Settlement and Traditional Affairs has also appointed a turnaround team of experts in the fields of engineering, finance, town planning, and information technology to help change the face of local government. So as provincial government, within the limitations of the law, we are intervening where we see problems in local government. We have also done skills audits in all our municipalities. We are left only with Naledi municipality in the RSM and Ngaka Mudiri Mulema district municipality, so that by the end of September we can implement the implementation plan derived or developed out of the skills audit that we have identified or that we have executed. And therefore, by the end of September, we should be having an implementation plan, because it has come out of those assessment or skills audit. There are people who are not supposed to be where they are today. Madam Speaker, it's important to note that the fourth phase of the accelerated service delivery, Tuntalero, will be launched in August to further expedite provision of services in municipalities. We are convinced that Tuntalero will assist us to come closer to our communities. Tuntalero will assist us to communicate effectively with our communities. Tuntalero will assist us to report delivery of government to our people. Tuntalero will assist us to show that we are a government that is responsive. Tuntalero has assisted for us to believe that we are putting people first. And therefore, in the context of Tuntalero, the district developmental model, the DDA, is at the center of all spheres of government, descending into one area and providing the necessary service. And therefore, we are upscaling it, we are reloading Tuntalero, we are bringing new initiatives and features in the fourth Tuntalero project. Madam Speaker, by the 31st of May 2024, we have reached 100% of our heads of provincial departments, because they have all submitted their financial disclosures to the Public Service Commission. So we have recorded 100% submission by all HODs who have declared their financial interest. As required, the report will be tabled in this House from the Public Service Commission. But I would like to assure you, Madam Speaker and members, that we will act against all senior managers who fail to disclose their financial interest. With no hesitation, no favor, or without any form of contradiction. But several high-profile cases are before the court for prosecution, and will continue to work with Chapter 9 institutions, and in particular law enforcement agencies, to clamp down on corruption, maladministration, fraud, and other cases of malfeasance. Therefore, Mupuso, jaaka re bua jang, go na le dikgetsi tse di ko kgotlatshekelo tse di tsamaisanang le maikalelo a gore re leka go lwantsha bobodu mo pusong, corruption and fraud. There are others which are under investigation. And therefore, we believe strongly that we are going to support the law enforcement agencies. We are going to support all our Chapter 9 institutions to ensure that we professionalize the public service. Madam Speaker and honorable members, the apex priority of the 7th administration, which is job creation for the youth. We want to get our young people to work and contribute to the development of the province. We can report, Madam Speaker, that the legal processes to pave the way for the rollout of labor activation program are nearing completion to unleash 27,000 work opportunities and training to unemployed people and the youth of this province. We are in the finality of completing all those legal matters, and therefore, in no time, through the labor activation program, we will be employing not less than 27,000 young people and women in this province. The Office of the Premier has signed a memorandum of agreement with the National Skills Fund to finance critical interventions in the province across departments. A memorandum of agreement has been signed. Budget has been put aside by the National Skills Fund for the North West Province. Departments will be submitting necessary interventions areas in their respective departments, which we will then employ young people into those critical positions. The National Youth Service will implement training and skills development opportunities that will benefit over 1,200 young people at the Department of Public Works and Roads, social development, human settlement, as well as arts, culture, sports, and recreation. And therefore, in collaboration with the National Youth Service, over and above the National Skills Fund, we will be employing 1,200 young people in those respective departments. We have directed the Department of Public Works and Roads to table a proposal for a new model for the implementation of expanded public works program to ensure that full complement of the available 15,000 work opportunities are made available, and the program is enriched to give value and dignity to our beneficiaries. Now, therefore, what I'm saying here is, in the current form of EPWP at Public Works, we can't continue with that form. Second, they must bring a new model which will ensure that in the morning for sign a register, it will not come, it will not happen. Public Works, and we are running a form of a grant, society grant, in a more sophisticated and a fashionable way. It's just like our old grannies who are sitting at home, and then they every month they go and collect money. Some of them they sign for the next 2 weeks. They'll be going somewhere, they sign for the next 2 weeks. So I'm saying, yeah, now I'm saying, Moketo over Fedile under the 7th Agreement. We want a model also which gives dignity to our people. People must be given appropriate, specific training which will make them able to go into the labor market. So training on EPWP is necessary. Second, this EPWP must assist us on maintenance, preventative maintenance. Our fences, pothole patching, grass cutting, and so forth. They must have PPEs they must have tools. You can't just have somebody out in especially pothole, apere buruke jwa 10,000 brand new. It can't be. There's no PPE. They don't have tools. They don't have equipment. They are not registered for unemployment. We can't. This thing is unsustainable. We are saying that program must come and it must be making sense to the Premier. The Vita Tebe Sephora Provincial Bursary Scheme, we are resuscitating it. And we are making a commitment that this year we'll make a pronouncement of the new intake. And we are targeting not less than 100 students for 2025 academic year. This will be over and above the NSFAS. As a province, this thing used to be there. It was stopped. I'm bringing it back. We must also close the gap and make our contribution. Musa Kota, retsenyegile thata ka tiriso e botlhaso ya diritibatsi ke bašwa ba rona. In Mahikeng, we will be opening a retreatment center and in Bojanala, in the Moses Kotane area, to help our young people who are grappling with challenges of drug and substance abuse. But of importance to us is not only to have these treatment centers. People come after treatment, they go back to the same environment, they relapse, they come back again. What should happen going forward under the 7th administration? During the treatment, they will undergo various skills development programs through our partnership with TVET colleges, with the CITAS and the university. So that when they get out of that situation, they are able to self-employ, they are able to be employable, and as a result of that, they are meaningfully and gainfully engaged in the economy, and therefore less use of drugs and substance abuse. As part of our community outreach programs, in addressing the scourge, we will be working with the faith-based organizations through our moral regeneration program. We'll also put Baruti Barona at the center of this fight against the scourge of drugs and substance abuse through our moral regeneration program. We are turning the corner, Honorable Speaker, in our school building program. In the Department of Education, we are finishing all our projects that were delayed, and we are also engaging our implementing agents to unlock all the challenges. The construction of over 10 schools across the 4 districts of our province is currently underway and will be completed in no time. These projects have collectively cost 583 million rand and have created well over 2,340 jobs. This Department of Education should be geared towards positioning the Northwest as a consistent top 3 best performing province in the country with metric results. We will, Madam Speaker and members, introduce interventions to expand the early childhood development education, increase the reach for universal grade R inclusion in all public schools, and improve the quality and qualifications of the ECD practitioners. We want to close the resource gap in all our schools to give each child equal opportunity to reach their full potential. Honorable Speaker, services provided by the Department of Social Development are critical for a rural province like the Northwest. We want to improve systems in this department. We want to introduce technology and digitization to improve records management, improve efficiency in the payment of grants to NGOs, expand the efficiency to the rest of the population of the province. We have modeled and understood what is required to achieve equitable allocation and distribution of services to all wards in the province. So it's important that as we execute our responsibility, that we make equitable allocation through social development of all the services to all the districts, all municipalities without exception, especially this province being a rural province. The department will build its research and monitoring capacity to rid the sector of unregistered and illegal operators who exploit our vulnerable population to benefit from the grant payment by the department. There's a serious challenge in the allocation of grants to NGOs and NPOs, and therefore we believe that this department, through their research and monitoring capacity, if it's leveled to a particular level, it can assist us to get rid of these unregistered illegal operators. The province has done well in expanding the provision of health services and working harder to continuously improve the quality of the service. The distribution of health infrastructure across the population is comparable to similar environments in the country. I think it's important to note the following. There's an increase in number of our community health centers and clinics which are now starting to operate 24 hours. But as more resources become available, we'll have to expand the services so that in our communities, all clinics, all community health centers are 24 hours available. Madam Speaker, the province will be collaborating with the Northwest University through the medical school and with other institutions like Sefako Makato, the Vet University, and the Northwest one to increase the number of health professionals and specialists in our public hospitals. Because we believe that Northwest citizens deserve quality health service, and therefore, being a rural province, we should be able to attract specialists and professionals, and therefore we have partnered with these universities to be able to have this service at the disposal of our people in the province. Our plan is to increase access to tertiary health services and expand the services to Dr. Ruth Gumuti Mompati and Ngaka Mudimulem, these tertiary health services. We will continue, Madam Speaker, to prioritize infrastructure development as part of broadening access to health care to achieve the universal health coverage goal through the implementation of the National Health Insurance. Our interest is access to quality health care. So several key infrastructure projects are prioritized for 2024-2025 financial year, and they include, amongst others, construction of clinics, Code 8 Cake, Buiteko, Mahogwe, Color Block in Freiburg, Fafung, Kofi Kral, Motantanyane, Sheila, Lobake, Chokonyani, Lokhache, Kabe, Matsepe, and Mudimu. We will be constructing clinics in those communities because we believe that health care must go next to the doors of our people. Sigama Rays. bagaetsi tlhabololo ya metsi e ka fa tlase ga dikgosi re tshwanetse re shebe ka mokgwa o latelang. Tlhabololo ya metsi e ka fa tlase ga tsamaiso ya dikgosi. Go tla nna botlhokwa thata gore re itse gore go lwantsha lehuma le go ribolola bokgoni jwa itsholelo le ikonomi ya province ya rona re tshwanetse re dirisane le magosi. Tsa rona ke tsone di itseng boima jwa tlala le lehuma le baagi ba rona ba tshelang mo go lona. Dikgosi tsa rona ke tsona tse di tshwanetse go kaela mafapha a puso gore ditlhabololo di tlhokagala kae mo metseng ya bona. Ha ba bereka le local government magosi ya rona re tsaya gore tirisano mmogo ewa e tla dira gore tirisano mmogo ya rona ya province le masepala le bogosi e nne botoka go isa ditlhabololo ko baagi. Go nna maso o fitlhela kgosi a lwa le mokhanselara mme go lwela gore tlhabololo e ko baagi. Jalo tshwanetse ke go se se baakae gore we must cooperate le magosi ko re berekang ko teng. Ke rata go netefaletsa kgosi Maotwe jaaka modulasetilo wa ntlo ya dikgosi gore letlole la tlhabololo le ke le kaileng mo nakong e fetileng e tla nna la tlhabololo ya metseselegae bogolosegolo. Madam Speaker, bagolo ba rona ba imetswe ke bosenyi le bogodu jwa leruo, go bolawa ga bagodi, basadi le bana ba basetsana. Re tla buisana le sepodisi sa rona, Madam Speaker, sa province gore re nne le lenaneo le le tibileng la province la sireletsa le go lwantsha bosenyi mo metseng ya rona, metsemagae segolosegolo. Lenaneo le tla ikaega thata ka go lwantsha bogodu jwa leruo. We are experiencing high level of stock theft in the province. Tshireletso ya bagodi ba ba sotlakiwa ba bolawa ebile ba gatelela le bomme le basetsana. Now, gender-based violence is also another serious challenge in our communities. It's a litiriso e botlhaswa ya nnotagi, it's a litiriso e botlhaswa ya di drugs and substance abuse. And therefore, the police must be seized with this problem through their community involvement leading our CPFs. Government must then have a strategy that deals with rural safety strategy, especially in our deep rural areas. If it means we must bring new technology to deal with this high level of theft, this high level of gender-based violence, this high level of rape, let it be. So that the family did not respond 30 years back in this era. Therefore, it's important that government because by these criminal activities, they are so advanced and we have to keep up with them. Earlier this year, we met the Border Management Authority to discuss challenges of irregular migration and cross-border crime. We are happy to report that the BMA has assured us that the Ramatlababa border will be receiving attention and the possible formalization of the Mabule and Pitsane crossing. The people of Matlosane are terrorized by the Zama criminals on a daily basis, who have actually even extended their criminal enterprises to the rest of the local municipality by shooting and killing our people on a daily basis. The police must respond to this challenge. But the province is interacting with presidency If it means we must bring the defense force, let it be. We cannot continue to be terrorized in our own country by foreign nationals who are actually illegal in the country, and the police are unable to handle the situation. If they are unable to handle it, let them indicate, and if it means we must bring the defense force, let it be. Madam Speaker, as I conclude, we must do the following. We have shared with yourself, Madam Speaker, and the House, and the people of Bukono-Buphiri. We are saying to you, all we outlined today is how we are advancing, or we intend to advance, provision of services in the next coming 5 years. We want to emphasize, a lot has been done, but much more still needs to be achieved. We take to heart the impatience expressed by many of our people. We note the destructive message of our detractors. This is the time to build and not destroy. We will not achieve everything at once, but we'll keep trying until we get it right. We take solace from the wisdom of Nelson Mandela when he said, I quote, "Only armchair politicians are immune from committing mistakes. Only armchair politicians are immune from committing mistakes. Errors are inherent in political action. Those who are in the center of political struggle have to deal with the practical and pressing problems, are afforded little time for reflection and no precedents to guide them, and are bound to slip up many times. But in due course, they will acquire the necessary experience and foresight that will enable them to avoid the ordinary pitfalls and pick out their way ahead amidst the throb of events. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, honorable members. Thank you very much, honorable Premier. Thank you so much for sharing with us the vision of the 7th administration. Thank you so much. The people of the Northwest have heard you. They will be watching and ensuring that what we committed today is delivered at the end of the day. Members and our guests, I would like to acknowledge the presence of our members in the NCOP in our midst today. Thank you very much for being with us today. I would like to acknowledge President Mmabatho. I didn't see you when I see you now that you are in our midst. Thank you, my dad. I also want to acknowledge and thank the presence of our provincial secretary, the peace present in our midst. Honorable members and guests, honorable we therefore need to follow the following protocol when reviewing. Members and guests must remain seated until the procession leaves the chamber. After the procession, we should allow our members and VIP guests occupying the first rows and follow other rows. Members must assemble outside the chamber for a group photo, honorable members, for a group photo. Lunch will be served at 2 venues. We have guests with accreditation tags. They will be ushered by our protocols in the house to show them where they should go. And our guests with accreditation armband and other guests will also be guided by our protocol. There is a tent on my right. On me, it will be on the left. From me, it will be on my right. And then the protocol will guide you there. The service in the 2 tents are the same. I don't know what I'm rising or I'm for. So don't be worried.